Okay, so what do you want to do a review on today?
Let's do one on Discover cards.
Discover credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have to say the disclaimer again. This is my opinion, and my personal opinion and experience, and it's my First Amendment right. I gotta let assholes out there in this communist country know that I have an actual right of freedom of fucking speech and freedom of expression. So, I really don't care about putting on a nice show for anybody or video or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, getting back to what did you ask me about? Discover?
Discover, yes.
Discover. Okay, Discover credit cards, because that's the only thing I have experience with. Let's see. I got a Discover card. I think I got about a 14% interest when it kicks in. Of course, it was interest free for about a year and 3 months or so for the promo. It's a Discover It card. I've had a couple of people recommend it to me, and I've recommended it out to a couple of people. Overall, the experience with the Discover was positive. They're easy to deal with. What else can I say? Their customer service is almost 100%, or that I know of, U.S. based. Every time I call somebody to dispute something, they're right on top of it usually. I can't really see how they would get negative reviews, but everybody gets a negative review once in a while for something. So I'm going to give Discover a good review for their Discover, at least their Discover It card, because of the 0% APR in the beginning for the first year and change, and because of good customer service. You usually get somebody in Utah, and somebody you can clearly understand. It's audible. Discover is pretty good about doing a credit increase if you ask for one. They usually reward you. A little trick to Discover, and I'll discuss this, and maybe if it's asked later, on tricks on credit, because I don't know, might not look like it by the way that I'm making this video dressed, or maybe by the way I talk. A lot of people judge a book by its cover, and they're stupid for it. But I'm an 800 plus credit score. That's what I am, and I've been that way for about a year or so, maybe a little less. And I still hold about an 813 lending FICO score. That's not a bullshit Advantage score. That's a FICO score. So when you look at me in the video, or you look at the video and you say, this guy, how credible is he? Well, that's how credible I am. I'm probably 813 right now for Fair Isaac. Probably my lowest credit score is Experian, and that's 808. And that's probably because I have lack of installment loan shit, which is a mixture of credit. We'll discuss that later if it's asked. Anyway, just back to Discover. Discover is a good card. It seems like they're coming back, and they're trying to get back into big business with people, so they're offering their Discover It card. If I were you and I had above 600 credit score, I would apply for a Discover It card to help boost my credit. Like any credit card, you need to practice responsibility with it, of course, and it's a good card overall. I know 3 people with Discover cards. They're pretty lenient when it comes to giving you the card. I think you could put anybody on your card that's over 15. I think it is. If you have kids that are 15 and over, you could put them on your Discover. I got one of my sons of age a credit card with basically no income, using the income off of mine, because you can do that. It says that you can do that. You can use somebody in your household's income, even if you don't have a job. And I don't know. My son's credit score is 770 right now, and that's for being young. So I would say Discover was partly responsible for helping that happen. So I only remember one bad experience with Discover, and that's where the account was used to buy something. Somebody hacked one of my family members' Discover cards, and I believe it was an employee who did it, because the card was fairly new. It was applied for and received really for only one kind of use. So the card wasn't used multiple times at different locations. The card was pretty much maxed out from the beginning, and then there was a couple of $100 left on it, and a food catering service was charged to the credit card, which doesn't lie in the lower states of the United States. So that basically that was an easy dispute. We changed the card, I believe. It got a new number for security purposes, and they shipped it out right out expediently, like in 2 days or next day air or whatever it was. But that was the only issue, and it never happened again. We usually keep an eye on it, and like I said, I think that was an inside job. It was probably an employee of Discover somewhere, some bad employee, some shitty employee they needed to get rid of. Probably some fucking asshole, like some protesting asshole that doesn't like big banks and fight the system bullshit. But I'm not totally opposed to that. But don't forget, capitalism is what makes our country go around. And if we lose that, we become a communist nation, or a socialist nation, and then a communist nation. So if you want to live like that, don't watch my videos. Go fucking live in China or something. Or go to Korea and go live over there. But that's my review on Discover. Pretty good card. I think I got close to a $10,000 limit on Discover, which is pretty good, and a pretty low interest rate for today's rates. So yeah, I'd say get your kid a Discover card, or get yourself one if you want to start with a good card, and go with the Discover IT card, and you get little cash back, bonus perks and shit like that. I think I have 2 of them myself, two separate accounts. But anyway, that's my review on Discover.